You need to stop calling Venom a villain, because if you do, I think you're wrong. Yeah, the black suit, the giant teeth, the terrifying tongue, I get it. On the surface, Venom looks like a monster, and Marvel spent years marketing him as one. But here's the thing nobody talks about. Before there was a Venom, before any of it, there were two beings who had lost everything. A man whose life was destroyed overnight, and an alien that just wanted someone who wouldn't abandon it. Neither of them chose this. Neither of them wanted to be the villain. And by the end of this video, you'll never call Venom a villain again. To understand why Venom is not a villain, you first need to understand Eddie Brock. Eddie Brock is not a criminal, not a supervillain, not some evil genius with a master plan. He's a journalist, a regular guy who worked hard, played by the rules, and genuinely wanted to make a difference through his work. And for a while, it works. Eddie builds a real career at a major New York newspaper. He's talented, driven, and respected. Then one case destroys everything. Eddie gets a tip about a serial killer called the Sin Eater. He tracks the guy down, gets an exclusive interview, and publishes the biggest story of his career. There's just one problem. The man Eddie interviewed wasn't the real Sin Eater. Spider-Man had already caught the actual killer. And when that comes out, Eddie's story collapses completely. He printed a false confession. He got it wrong. Publicly, humiliatingly wrong. He loses his job immediately.
You're fired, Eddie. I can't trust you.
His reputation is gone overnight. No newspaper will touch him. The career he spent years building, destroyed in days. And then his wife leaves him. In a matter of weeks, Eddie goes from having everything to having absolutely nothing. And he blames one person for all of it: Spider-Man. Now ask yourself, is that the origin story of a villain, or is that just a man who got dealt an incredibly unfair hand? Here's the part of the story that completely changes how you see Venom, because this isn't just Eddie's story, it's also the story of the symbiote, and the symbiote's story is just as tragic. The black alien creature that becomes the suit first bonded with Spider-Man. Peter Parker found it on an alien planet and brought it back to Earth thinking it was just a cool new suit. But it was alive, sentient. It had feelings, and it genuinely bonded with Peter. It cared about him. It learned from him. It wanted to protect him. But then Peter rejected it. He found out the symbiote was slowly influencing his mind, and he forcibly removed it, using sound waves to rip it off and leaving it for dead. Now think about that for a second. The symbiote found someone it connected with, someone it wanted to protect, and that person rejected it and tried to destroy it, without giving it a single chance to communicate. And before Spider-Man? The symbiote had already been cast out by its own species on its home planet, considered defective because it was too emotional, too empathetic, too attached, rejected by its own kind, then rejected by Spider-Man. Is that a villain? Or is that one of the saddest origin stories in Marvel history? Then it finds Eddie Brock, sitting alone in a church at the absolute lowest point of his life. Two beings, both betrayed, both rejected, both with nowhere left to go. And together, they find each other. Here's what everyone gets wrong about Venom. He has a code. From very early on, Venom makes one thing clear. He does not hurt innocent people. He protects them. In fact, Venom literally calls himself a lethal protector. He goes after criminals. He defends the weak. He acts more like a dark anti-hero than a villain. Does he go after Spider-Man? Yes. But in his mind, Spider-Man destroyed Eddie's life. That's not villainy. That's a grudge. A very extreme grudge, but a grudge nonetheless. And here's the thing about the bond between Eddie and the symbiote. It's not just about power. The symbiote feels what Eddie feels. It shares his grief, his anger, his pain. And Eddie feels what the symbiote carries. centuries of rejection and loneliness. They understand each other in a way nobody else ever could. That's not a villain origin, that's two broken beings finding the only connection they've ever had. Compare that to an actual villain, someone like Thanos who chooses destruction with full knowledge of what he's doing. Venom never chose any of this. He was pushed here by circumstances neither he nor the symbiote created. So stop calling him a villain. He's something far more complicated than that. Still not convinced? Here are the facts most people never talk about. First, Eddie gets cancer and lets the symbiote go. In one of the most emotional arcs in Venom's history, Eddie finds out he's dying, and he makes a decision. He separates from the symbiote and sells it, not because he wants to, because he doesn't want the symbiote to die with him. He gives up his powers, his strength, everything, to protect the one thing he truly bonded with. That is not what villains do. Second, Venom hates Carnage. Carnage is the symbiote's offspring. Pure destruction. No code, no conscience, no mercy. And Venom despises him. Why? Because Carnage is everything Venom never wanted to be. Venom looks at Carnage and sees what happens when there are no boundaries, no protection of the innocent, no code. A true villain wouldn't care. Venom does. Third, Venom has fought alongside the heroes. Multiple times in the comics, Venom teams up with Spider-Man and other heroes to stop bigger threats. Not because he's forced to, but because even Venom knows the difference between right and wrong. Villains don't do that. Heroes, even dark, complicated, broken ones, do. So let's settle this once and for all. Is Venom a villain? The symbiote, rejected by its own species, abandoned by Spider-Man, just trying to find one person who wouldn't leave. Not a villain. Eddie Brock, a man who made one mistake, lost everything because of it, and bonded with the one being in the universe that truly understood his pain. Not a villain. Together, they became something the world called monstrous. They crossed lines. They hurt people. That can't be ignored. But here's the difference between Venom and a real villain. Real villains choose their path. They embrace the darkness. They want destruction. Venom never wanted any of this. He wanted justice for Eddie. He wanted connection for the symbiote. He wanted to protect people who couldn't protect themselves. That's not a villain. That's a broken hero who never got the credit he deserved. So the next time someone calls Venom a villain, you tell them this story. Two outcasts who found each other and became something the world was too scared to understand. And that is why you need to stop calling Venom a villain, a man who lost everything through no real fault of his own. An alien that just wanted to belong, and together, a bond that the world called monstrous but was built on something very human. If this video changed how you see Venom, drop a comment. Do you think Venom is a villain or a hero? I want to know. And if you're new here, welcome to Lore Vault. Every week, we go deeper into the stories behind the characters you thought you knew. Subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.